Hey guys, good morning. So it's start of week 11, Wednesday, no, Monday, September 17th. There was a lot to share with you guys from yesterday. A lot of positives to talk about today, and yet uh, I'm overwhelmed right now with um, not a feeling of guilt, but partially guilt, sadness. I got to point the thumb at myself. Yesterday was a very important date in my family's life, and I call my mom almost every day on this journey, let her know where I am and I'm okay. And I really needed to speak with her yesterday. Um, I really needed to call her yesterday, and I didn't. I meant to, but we mean to do a lot of things that we don't get around to doing. And I got to point the thumb at myself and say I dropped the ball um, badly. So I'll be calling her first thing this morning. I guess it is first thing this morning back east. It's about, I don't know, 5:30 or so here. So 6:30 there. So I'll be calling her shortly. Um, but I can't do anything now but own it, point the thumb at myself, and give her a call. And anyway, so if I seem a little bit down when I'm sharing some pretty crazy good news in a day, that's why, because that's kind of in the front of my mind right now. But I'll give her a call this morning and make that right. Um, Today, well, usually I talk about the day coming up and then go back to yesterday. Today is exciting. I'm going to be getting ready here shortly in the cabin you can see around me, and meeting Nathan, which is Mike and Carla's son that I met back in Miami. And he'll be taking me after breakfast to Clinton Middle School, where his wife's a teacher, and they're going to give me an opportunity to talk to the class. It was a class or an assembly of what they're doing, but it'll be a great opportunity for me to share and to point the message with some young people. And I think that's where it all has to start, is with the young people. And I've had some really nice moments on this journey with younger people and kids, and it's been a lot of fun for me. So I thank them for that opportunity, and I'm looking forward to that as well. From there, I was going to announce my plans for the rest of the journey, and I will do that later today. However, my plans were to leave right about now and head out to Weatherford. Um, and then from there, actually, my original plans were to be in Weatherford last night and head out from there, doing my sun up to sunset plan. But when this opportunity came along to talk to the kids, and the people here at the KOA of El Reno were so nice to offer me the cabin for another night, and the gentlemen, Andrew and Aaron, that did the documentary yesterday, this was closer to them on the way back to Tulsa, where they had to head for business this morning. It all just kind of went together. So the nice thing about this journey, like I said, is I could kind of bounce around and skip around when there's people and stories to share. So that was the call I made last night. So today, not quite sure if Weatherford will be my final destination. Clinton is somewhere between there and Weatherford. I don't know when I'm going to get done at the school. So Weatherford may be my final destination. There may be towns past Weatherford that are my final destination. I don't think I'll be able to do 40 miles past, 35 past Weatherford like I originally had written down. But that's the beauty of this journey, is kind of winging as I go. So that having been said, those are the plans for today, which are still a little bit up in the air past this morning. So let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday was a bit of a total whirlwind for me. I got up in the morning, and I showered, I did some wash, I got myself packed up, and I got myself up to the front office, and I was talking with Danielle and her daughter-in-law and her grandson, and came back and got set up here and got all my stuff back up there. I knew that Andrew and Aaron were flying into Oklahoma City, and they had plans for essentially a full day of shooting. And while I was up there, I was able to meet and share with you a live stream with Steve, who lives on site out of his kind of homemade, campsite and camper, and just a very chill, cool dude that appreciates life and what he has. And as I was recording with Steve is when Aaron and Andrew rolled up, and we went out to a town called Hinton, and we did a lot of. They did some interviews. They did a lot of video. One of the takeaways for me, when we watch a film or a movie, it's this finished product that looks, so pristine and so, perfectly done. It almost looks easy, and I can tell you what these guys do, physically as well as mentally, is not easy at all. I definitely have a different appreciation for what they do and how they do it. And again, it was a strange dynamic because they were thanking me throughout the day, and I can't figure out why. I walked more than I expected to walk, I'll tell you that. But these guys, essentially sought me out and said I had a story that they wanted to share and help us spread the word, and took their time and their equipment and their money to come out and make that happen for me and for us. So I'll forever be in gratitude to them. But that was kind of an all-day event. We probably started around noontime. Went to the Main Street Cafe, had lunch. They interviewed me over lunch, and we did, different scenes walking through small town, big town, state parks, dirt roads that we interviewed while walking. They did drone videos. They did a lot. I have no idea what the final product's going to look like, but they did a lot. And we went along quiet roads, highways. So it was a lot. Anyway, when we got back, one of the things that was interesting when I was out there during the day, first of all, it was football Sunday, so every once in a while I was trying to check some scores, see how my fantasy team was doing. But I got a text from the campsite the day before. I was walking in from El Reno. If you remember my story from the day before, I couldn't do the 45 miles to get out here. So I grabbed a Greyhound at Oklahoma City, which was an adventure to the town of El Reno, which was 19 miles out. I was walking about 5 miles out, and the rain started to come, and a gentleman rolled up on me and said, you're gonna get soaked. Can I give you a ride? And I said, I appreciate that. That's what the humanity's about. And he gave me a ride up to the mini mart up the road here, and I got a text from the campsite. Said, hey, guy named Andrew. I give him my card like I give everybody. He's a guy named Andrew. And I don't think I have a picture of him. I'm not sure why. It's 2 days now. Anyway, I met you yesterday on the road and wanted to know if you can get your phone number. So I said, absolutely, sure. So we gave him my number. And a few minutes later, I got a text from Andrew basically saying, hey man, I started to watch your videos and kind of really impressed with what you're doing. I heard that you had a little trepidation about going out west, had some concerns. I picked you up a few things that may help you out, and I could drop them by the campsite, or I can, if you'd like, I'd love to buy you dinner later. Just whatever works for you. And it was still unknown. I said, well, I don't know what time I'm going to be getting back. And I mean, either or would be fantastic. I really appreciate it. The fact that this guy picked me up, took my card, and then just tossed it in this container. So I actually went home and watched some videos about who I am and what makes me tick and what brings me to Oklahoma. Was flattering in itself. And like I said, on this journey, it's been this kind of, I call it that alpha male myth. I mean, here's another late 30s guy, father, that reached out to me and has become, it's going to be a friend for life now. So when they dropped me off, it had to be maybe close to 7 o'clock or so. And so it was a long day, just unpacked. So I texted Andrew, said, hey, I just got back at the site. He said, well, I'm on my way. And he rolled up like 8 seconds later. He's like, look, I know you were heading back there. I wanted to get this stuff to you. I didn't know what time they closed, so I was just kind of hanging out here. So I dropped my stuff off in the cabin. We went up to the top of the hill. We had dinner, and it was nice. We probably spoke for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just about life in general. He reminded me a lot of myself in the sense that he gets it. Whatever that it is, to me, he gets it. He doesn't take himself or life too seriously, but yet he takes it seriously enough to know his responsibilities as a father and as a husband and as an employee. And like I said, we just seem to really click. And he brought me a bunch of different things. A floppy head. He bought me a water tube that you can suck up from a river, and it purifies the water in case I get struggling out there. A bunch of little things that are just very thoughtful, that he didn't have to do. So I'll forever be grateful to him for that. Um, so that was, by the time I got done last night, it was, well, it might only been 9 o'clock or so here. Um, but honestly, I was kind of wiped. I spoke with the kids, and I was going to do a night video. Going to call. I meant to call my mom. I think I can't make excuses. I got to point the thumb. If I remember, I think my kids. I spoke with my kids as I kind of got. They went to bed and unpacked my suitcase. So now my suitcase bag. My sleeping bag. Excuse me. And I just said, hey, you know what? I'll get them in the morning. So anyway, like I said, yesterday was very full, although only spent with a few people. Great folks, great opportunity. Much thanks and love to everybody there. As I said, I'm excited about today. I know at some point I'm going to be moving from Clinton to Weatherford, and then a couple towns past it. I think my original goal was to leave Weatherford this morning, end up in a town maybe called Eric, or right before Eric. I'm not sure. Maybe right before it. It's like 3 towns along the way. So this will be like my last day, I think, where there's several towns along the way. But I'll keep you updated with that and in tune with that. Like I said, right now it's just going to pack up my gear and make sure I get everything set. Try to get my head wrapped around the presentation I'm going to give. Maybe write some notes down. I don't think it's going to be very long, but it's flattering and a little bit intimidating at the same time. I mean, I'm not nervous about it. I tend to get the same questions everywhere I go, so I'll just talk about that. But I do hope to spread the point of thumb mantra and message as we go, and that's about it. So, Kira, Grace, Landon, I love you guys so very, very much. Thank you for staying in touch with me yesterday. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun with Mom. I'll be speaking to you later today. And guys, from here, we're going to ramp it up so I can get home to you guys. All right? So I love you. Thank you all at home for following. Thank you for listening, for your suggestions. Remember, guys, point the thumb, not the finger. All right? Ask yourself what your ownership is. What accountability do you have? What did you do to contribute to the situation? I do want to share one thing. You guys can use point the thumb however you like to use it. I have two ways I talk about it. One is the way I do 90% of the time, which is, when it comes to a situation, listen to somebody else's opinion before you right fighting, and point the thumb at yourself and try it. What it'll do is it'll allow you to gain their perspective. You may not agree with it, but at least you may have a little different perspective. The other way I say point the thumb is be very honest with yourself about who you are. All right, none of us are perfect. Instead of denying that you have something, that you are something, own it. Right? Be honest with yourself. If you own it, you can address it or acknowledge it or handle it better. Well, last night I got one from somebody that I thought was a different take that they shared with me. Somebody from our family, and they said, "Hey, when I think about pointing the thumb, I think a lot of people, and I'm translating, so if I get it screwed up, I apologize. But a lot of people are humble and don't want to take credit or be proud of some of the things they've done and accomplished in their life, whether it be something small like just doing a good deed for the day, or something very big like beating an addiction, or beating an anxiety, or beating a physical like cancer. We've had a bunch of people on the journey that are either currently battling or have beaten cancer, at least for the time being. And it's an opportunity for them to point the thumb and give themselves a pat on the back and take some credit and say, look what I did. Look what I did. I did this. I created this. I did this. And to sit back and relish and take in a breath of fresh air and some pride in what they did. So there's another take as to what pointing the thumb means to that person. So I thought that was something that was definitely worth sharing. I love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll keep you updated. Take care now.